Welcome to the PT Legends podcast, where co-host Dave Bess and myself, Scott Carpenter, share our journey and secrets of success. From our humble beginnings as personal training employees of a big box gym to struggling studio owners that have made every mistake in the book, to where we are now, the owners of a multi-seven-figure business operating multiple personal training studios internationally, and now coach and mentor to fitness professionals in 5 countries and counting. This is our story, and these are our secrets. Subscribe to our podcast, learn, take action, and build your own fitness empire. Welcome back to the PT Legends podcast. I am Scott.
Big Dave, clocking in.
And we are excited because this episode is specifically for personal trainers. And this is for personal trainers who are an employee somewhere. This is for personal trainers who are independent personal trainers, whether you train out of your clients' houses or a park or your garage, or you pay rent to studio or gym to train your clients. And it is also for personal trainers that own their own studios as well. We have actually been all 3 at different stages. I started in a big box gym. I worked for Lifetime Fitness for a little over 4 years. I started as a personal trainer, became the assistant department head, and then ended up running the department for Lifetime Fitness. There's like maybe 25-ish trainers on staff. Dave, you started off at a big box gym too.
Correct. Big box, started training out of a park. Renter, met you.
Yeah. So we met because I acquired, it was my second studio. I had acquired that. It was Fusion Fitness. I bought it, rebranded to Underground Fitness. And then at the time, Dave was a renter. He paid rent to that studio and then to me. That's how we met. And then later on down the road, he came over to work for Underground. And then later on down the road, we became business partners. So that's kind of our really quick history. And we've been through every single phase as a personal trainer in that journey. It is not an easy job. It is not an easy industry. And if you're listening to this, you probably own your own studio, or you're an independent trainer, or you're thinking about becoming one or the other. But what we want to tell you today, and we both been in this industry then because I've been a gym owner for 9 years, so probably about 13 to 14 years then, 13 and a half years or so professionally in this industry. You're about the same, I think.
About the same.
It is so important we're going to put you 14 years ahead here, guys. God, to bring high ticket offers into your business, into your job, how you charge. You cannot just charge for sessions, and you cannot just charge packages, and you cannot just count reps for a living. It is a grind. We did it as partners for a long time. Many, many years. It is a hard thing to grow. It is a hard thing to duplicate. It is a hard thing to not put in 50 hours a week to make good money at. We did everything, right? So when I first bought Underground Fitness, which was a failing business at the time, it was largely a group training studio. And then I brought my expertise with bringing one-on-one PT into it. And it did fairly well. And then later on down the road, and this is what a lot of trainers do when they get their own studio, they think they got to do a lot of group stuff. And most trainers don't really enjoy it that much, I would say, most that I know, but they feel like they have to do it because not everybody can afford PT rates and this and that. So they will jump on the bus and they'll do stuff at $99, $150, $200 a month, maybe 3 or 4. For large group, we ended up killing that and just ran with semi-private and one-on-one. Semi-privates were around 30 or 40 a session for the most part.
Yep.
And even that's tough. So you're looking at 320, right? 360-ish and maybe 420 or something like that a month. That's even fucking tough. And a lot of places that you rent at won't even let you do that. They might let you only work one-on-one or one-on-two. It's a tough gig, guys, because you are always trading time for money. And we had leverage, right? With gyms, now we've got employees, and that's good. But man, personal training has some glaring weaknesses. Glaring weaknesses. If it's one-on-one, you only have so many hours. You only have so many slots. Even if you have employees, Semi-private will give you more leverage, but if you're not charging much for it, it's still really tough because you got to find so many damn clients. Mm-hmm. And a lot of trainers at Lifetime would kind of build up a clientele, and they're like, sweet, I can make way more money if I just leave quietly and take these people. And that's great. Then they do. And it's like, wow, this is great. But sometimes you'll bleed out. People, no matter how good you are, some people get bored. Some people run into financial problems. Some people move away because they get promoted, whatever it is. Some people get sick. And sometimes you can just kind of bleed out a little bit. And a lot of trainers end up having to go back, or they stay independent and just kind of struggle. And here's the thing about being independent. It's good when it's good. Okay. Mm-hmm. When it sucks, it sucks. And you went through a little bit of that.
Oh yeah. The biggest part that you brought up though is the time for money. Like, I don't think I've told you this. So this was, I think a week ago, I went back to look at my schedule, what it looked like 18 months ago. When I was at Arrowhead, I was running it and I was like, I wonder what my schedule looked like. So I just did that for fun. Oh my God. I don't know how I was surviving. Like it was literally 5 a.m. to 9 a.m. And Carrie's like, I remember I used to always go home and take a nap. Then I would take my nap. Then I would go back and do more. And it was just literally session. On Tuesday and Thursday that week that I looked at, it was 11 sessions all the way through.
Oh.
And you don't know it at the time though. You don't know. You're like, okay, it's my identity. Okay, I'm a really good rep counter.
If you're in it, if you're not an employee and you're in it for yourself, you know this, guys, because you got to take clients when they want to take clients. So you're doing early mornings. You're doing 5 a.m., 6 a.m. You're doing stuff late at night, 6 p.m., 7 p.m. And then you're doing some weekend stuff, right, to fit people in because they travel. It's a grind. It's tough. I don't know how you did that either.
Yeah.
Right.
And then to connect to that, no one saw results either. Like, we lost a couple pounds, would count macronutrients, but like looking back but we didn't know that there was this world either that we're currently living in and leading gym owners. Yeah. And I mean, this is how I know it's going to work for any personal trainer out there because it works for freaking CrossFit gym owners.
Yeah.
Our CrossFit gym owners that we mentor, and we mentor over 25 CrossFit gym owners, their rates are 155. You have such a freaking advantage because with personal training, they are looking to spend a minimum of $400, $500, $600, $700.
Yeah.
Huge
you're
advantage.
Used to that and you're comfortable with that. That's the leg up. You're actually already selling quote unquote high ticket stuff. You are.
Yes.
The problem is you're not charging enough. Okay. You're still not charging enough. You're still working one-on-one. You need to be charging more for what you're doing. You need to be charging more than you are for one-on-one right now. And you need to be doing it not one-on-one. I know that sounds nuts. You need to be doing semi-private training at more than you're charging now.
$111.11 is what you need to be charging for a 4x1, 5x1.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is the only way that you're going to be able to have any semblance of a work-life balance, control time, have financial freedom, be able to provide and have security for yourself, for your family, and have the time to enjoy that as well. Try doing this for another 10. Could you do what you're doing right now for another 10 years, another 20 years? With that instability too, is what if you lose 3 clients? That's the hardest part. What if you lose three one-on-one clients? You could be making thousands, $30,000 less a year. That's a tough pill to swallow, guys.
Or you have a kid.
Yeah. Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is not easy. It's not easy to learn this. It took us 13 years in the damn industry to be able to figure this out and how to do this, to crack that nut. We spent so much time, money, energy, everything. And we have way more resources with all our studios and everything than anybody else did. And it took us that long. We literally had to invent a new way of doing business. And we only did this, guys. We only figured this out 1.5 years ago. We started it at the location you ran at Arrowhead, and it blew the hell up. In the first month, in the first 4 weeks, we started September or August 15th or 16th, and it went to it was exactly 1 month. And we measured it to September 15th or 16th. You sold over $40,000.
Insane.
Insane. in that 4-week period. And this is before we got good at it. This is before we dial it in. Yeah. This is before we even raised our prices further. It was huge. And then we refined it and we're like, oh, our renewals where we need to do that. So let's implement this and that. And we fine-tuned it. And then we did it at all our other locations. And we taught other operators how to do this. And they have varying skill levels for sales. And they all did insane. And they continue to do incredible. And now we can afford to pay these people really well and have amazing careers, which gives us leverage. We can afford to pay people to produce podcasts for us and do social media editing. We can pay copywriters, right? So we have all these people that we pay. We're able to do that. If you're just charging enough, you can't do that. Even if it's at market rate, not good enough. A lot of you, especially if you did work for a big box gym and you silently left and took people, a lot of times you incentivize people to join with you by charging less. And there's this scarcity involved. Like, because you're always kind of losing some amount of clients. Even if you're damn good and you have very loyal people that are with you for 5 years, again, people can get sick. They can move. Bleeding happens, even with your best people. And it can happen when you least expect it. And when you finally get a lead or somebody in front of you, you just feel so desperate to close that and not put up a donut that a lot of times what you do is you reduce the rate. You give some sort of a deal. And now you're just working harder and harder for less and less money. How many of your clients are at the rate, your normal rate, at which you'd ideally like to charge? Not many. Not many at all. And that stacked time and time again means you're working more and more hours for less and less money. You're never digging out of that hole. Never. It's extremely hard. Even the most successful independent trainers, they're still vulnerable. They're still hard. They're still working a lot of hours. They're doing the early mornings. They're doing the late nights. They're doing the weekends. And they're in front of that person who needs this odd time. You're like, oh, shit, I don't really want to do that, but I need the money, and you take it at that 5 a.m. when you don't want to, and it's just, man, it is a rough gig.
I was at a big box, AKA Lifetime. This was a couple weeks ago. And I was on the Stairmaster, getting a little cardio in before the Christmas season. And I looked up and I saw all the trainers there. And you could just see the look in their eyes that nobody was happy. Like, they were all doing a really good Lifetime. They have great trainers. But it was this very interesting moment where I looked around and then it kind of hit me. I was like, I know exactly that feeling of just getting up at 4:20 a.m., mixing up my coffee. There's always one red light I got stuck at. Then a big breath in, big breath out, and I would go unlock the door and go in. And it was like a show that I put on, and I pretended to be happy. Mm-hmm. And it's just that identity takes over and becomes you. I'm the guy that counts reps. I'm the guy that runs a studio. But you're not a guy that makes change. And that was the light bulb moment that we had. It was like, wait a second here. Like, let's legitimately help people out. Let's find a way, because reps and macros are not enough and they'll never be enough. No. And man, when I worked for Lifetime, they really stressed continuing education, which is good, right? Mm-hmm. But those were like certifications, right? I got my CBT, then I got my PS, then I got my CS, and you can get paid a little bit more for that. And I got those things. Get better at counting reps.
Get better at counting reps, right? Yes, exactly. And you do some stuff with nutrition, and you learn these little things, and you have a lot of knowledge, but you're still not changing that many lives. Yeah, you're giving workouts and they enjoy it, and that's a good habit, but how many of them are actually really changing outside when they leave your facility where you're at or leave your workouts? Not much. And I remember like not always wanting to check in people with their weights and this and that, because like it's that awkward, like I know they really haven't changed, and maybe they'll rethink the money that they're spending, and so you kind of avoid it. Mm-hmm. And you give nutritional tips here and there, but nobody really does anything. That's the majority of the people that we work with, let's be honest. 5 to 10% of your clients like truly make like a transformation, and they're like, wow, you've changed my life. And
that's what keeps people in. That's what kept me in for years. It's like, oh, okay, but this person hit the jackpot. And he looked me in the eyes and said, you changed
5
me.
to 10% of people, when we get that and they say, wow, you changed my life, and it makes it worth it. We're like, it's worth it. It's worth it. I love what I'm doing. But that's just a small percentage. And we can teach you how to take that and flip it. Where like 80% of your people are going to be saying these things, and you're helping them become a better person. It's amazing. You also going to get massively financially rewarded for that. The reason why you have to charge so much money is because it's important for you. You don't, just because you're doing something you love and trying to do something important doesn't mean you need to be a martyr and be broke for it either. Okay? So it's important for you. It's important for your family. Okay? Whether you have one or whether you're going to have one. It's important. It's not just about you. Okay? It's important for your family. It's also important for your clients. If you're just charging $60 a session, $80 a session, this and that, and that's even still kind of high ticket, or maybe you're doing 30-minute things. But the point is, and God forbid if you got a studio and you're doing large group and charging like 150 to 200, Jesus. It has to be significant to them. It's important to them to pay good money so that we have the skin in the game. If you just sell 8 sessions for $600 and people are like, all right, well, I'll give it a shot. That's not, they don't have enough skin in the game. They're just giving it a shot. They'll try it out. And hopefully they like you, right? And they'll continue and this and that, or maybe see some results and hopefully they'll continue. But, you need to be charging $3,000, $4,000, $6,000 for 9 weeks. And that better not be one-on-one either. You should be doing that in a semi-private format. And that way you can make boatloads of money. They have skin in the game. If you want your own studio, you have enough money to be able to do that. You have enough money to be able to pay your bills, to pay your employees well, all these different things. You cannot overcome price. It has to be there. The problem with the market is the way you determine your price is you probably look around and see what other people are charging, and you're either going to charge that or you're going to charge a little bit under that. And the problem is that everybody else kind of does that too. Mm-hmm. And you end up with just enough money to get by. That's how the market pressure works. You end up with just enough money. And then you try and sell yourself as better than the competition because you're more knowledgeable, you care more, you have these certifications, you have this experience, you have this philosophy, and blah, blah, blah. Maybe you help with nutrition and others don't really do a good job with it. Okay. So you try and differentiate yourself, and you're probably decently good at it, but you are not charging enough, and you are succumbing to the market prices around you. And if you want to do that, there's only going to be just enough money to get by, whether you own the studio or whether you're renting, whatever it is. You'll never get out of it. If you own the studio, are you still helping out with the cleaning? Are you doing your own marketing? Right? Are you still doing most of the training? Are you doing classes? Are you doing nutrition coaching? Like, if you're doing all those things, you're not charging enough money. You shouldn't have to do all those things forever. That's the whole point of you taking on this amazing risk of having a studio like this and overhead. You need to be able to pay professionals and pay other people to do these roles because you can't do this forever. You can't do 60 hours a week. Even if you only do 40 hours a week, great, but you're doing it at 5 and 6 a.m. and then you're doing it at 6, 7, and 8 p.m. And so you never escape it. Oh, that was such a bad spot when I was doing that for years.
I mean, that's the hell, but the heaven is something very special too, because once you start guiding and leading, it always goes back to my Jerry Maguire moment. Like, that was I think the turning point for us, when it's less clients, more impact, more money. Less clients, more impact, more money. Once you start becoming that Jerry Maguire and all you have on your roster is a bunch of Rod Tidwells that you're connecting with, my God, like that's a heavenly day. When you wake up,
God, that's awesome.
And maybe you only have a group of, if you're an independent trainer, 8 to 12 clients total. You run a couple hours where you just bulldoze them through workouts, which is still, and keep in mind, the workouts are an important part of it still.
Yeah.
From a community aspect, a lot of personal trainers, they try to shift online and they really shit the bed. So if you're a personal trainer and you still have that gift of, hey, I can lead a local movement and I'm really good at firing people up in the workouts, that really does create that amazing community aspect. And a lot of people will find you where in the online game, it's really, really hard to find.
Yeah. So that's it, guys. Like there's so many people that are like, oh, just do this high ticket online stuff, do nothing and make tons of money. That's a tough gig, guys. And if you're a trainer, you probably enjoy what you do. You don't want to train 40 hours a week, but you probably enjoy it. Most trainers are like, yeah, I'd like to do 10, 15, 20, maybe 25 hours a week, depending on who you are. Well, guys, even if you're an independent trainer, you can have 15 clients. That will take you 15 to 18 hours a week to do. They're all 3 times a week, okay? You have an average of, just say just under 3 people in a given hour because, some people move around and stuff like that. So let's say you got 15 clients. You're training 18 hours a week. That is it. You can bring in $15,000 or slightly above a month doing that. And if you're renting someplace, your expenses aren't much. You can make 100 to 200 grand without a whole lot. And you don't need to have 40 clients, which you can't manage on your own anyways. And if you own a studio, you have a lot of money to be able to pay a staff so they can have a career and they can do this too. Yep. And you can choose to train 5 hours a week, 10, 15, or not at all. I don't train at all. You don't train at all either. But for a long time, I did about 5 hours a week because I enjoyed it. I like to get in and see the people. And yes, you can still do online stuff, but here's the thing, guys. You can't do this bullshit $99, $199 a month, $299 a month to send them programs. You need to do the same thing. You need to be charging $2,000, $3,000 for virtual programs. And you're like, that's great. I don't know how to do any of this shit. Like, how am I going to sell semi-private training at more than I'm charging right now for one-on-one? It sounds fucking absurd. Does it?
Yeah, for everyone listening out there, like you're probably, the trainers are still thinking, okay, it's still about the workouts. It's still a program. We're not talking about selling a program. And I guarantee every single trainer listening out there, you've had a conversation with someone where you sit down at the desk and they were at I call it that fork in the road in life, where they knew if they didn't make substantial change to the inner part of themselves, that they were going to fail in all aspects of life. So what we teach our trainers and gym owners to do is to have that conversation, that fork in the road conversation. And for the people that are there, they're at that fork of the road. You have a very simple conversation with them and you say, are you ready to start the next chapter of your life? Are you ready to feel free? Are you ready to live a life with purpose? And then 99% of the time people shake their heads. They're like, yeah, I am ready for this. I want to feel free. I want to wake up every single day with purpose. That will shift to them investing $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 into an actual solution, working with a mentor, working with a leader, working with a guide. And that's how you can just dust that training, which is in a semi-private set. That's just the icing on top of the cake.
Yeah. Yeah. And we teach you how to do this. The reality is you should be working with 2 to 4 people at a time for the most part and be making $222 to $450 an hour. That's what you need to be doing. And just doing a few hours of that a day. That's it. It should be that easy. And you should have an amazing work-life balance. And you should have a massive impact. And you should have some Rod Tidwells and be Jerry Maguire.
That's it.
Fewer clients, greater impact. That's what it's all about. And that's the dream. That is the absolute dream, to have only work with your dream clients who love and appreciate what you do, who never complain, who take ownership over their results or lack of results, and who listen to the changes that you prescribe to them outside of the gym. That's what every personal trainer wants. Yep. It took us, over 13 years to figure that out. And 2 of us. 2 of us. Tens of thousands of dollars. When you look at all the mistakes, it's obviously, probably $1 million worth over the
right?
Easily. But guys, we can put you hundreds of thousands of dollars ahead on this one. It's insane. So, and just to give you a sneak peek behind it is if somebody does one of these 9-week transformations, they work out 3 times a week in a semi-private format. You are going to do a one-on-one onboarding session with them to build out their perfect day and week, the habits and the things they need to do every day and week to get from where they're at now to get to their goal. Okay. That's it. And then you do a weekly coaching check-in. Doesn't even have to be in person. You can do it over the phone. You can do it over Zoom. But you're looking at like 15 to 30 minutes where you're going to hold them accountable to what they're doing. You're going to guide them as a mentor week after week. And that's it. You're looking at 15 to 30 minutes in addition to what you're doing. And then you can do it in a semi-private format and charge a minimum of $111 an hour. It sounds bizarre, I know. But not only are we doing it in all 6 of our locations, but we're doing it with gyms and, like Dave said, a lot of CrossFit gyms who are charging $149 a month. We're teaching them how to sell this at $2,000 and $3,000 for large group guys all over the world, and in rich areas, but also really poor areas too. And it's working. So if you're a personal trainer and you are in the situation that we kind of been talking about, which that'll be literally everyone, what you want to do next is go back to some of our earlier podcasts, listen to those. We start talking about this process, start learning more. We also have a Facebook group, and we'll leave it in the show notes that you can go to, and we do live trainings to teach this stuff. But most importantly, guys, is Dave and I have been through a lot as personal trainers, employees, independent contractors, and business owners. And we know dozens, hundreds of them, right? A lot of you listening to this, I've worked with you, right? It's so important because we have such good hearts in what we do, and we're very passionate, but we're not very effective. And it is our obligation, Dave and I, and how much we've grown and developed to share our knowledge to make your lives better and your clients' lives better and your family's lives better. So I'm in the process of writing a book. It will be out shortly. It's called High Ticket Personal Training. And I'm going to outline the steps that you need to take to do this. So that will be ready shortly. If you want a free copy of the book, all you have to do is email me with your name and address, and I'll send you one. So just shoot an email to scott@ptlegends.com. Scott@ptlegends.com, and I will mail you a free book because that's how important this stuff is.
One fun fact to end this thing. This is way back when we first started this, after 5 months, before we started working with CrossFit gym owners. So like I said, with any CrossFit gym owner in the world that works with us, I can basically guarantee that you're going to get 2 to 4 people to sign up for a transformational program. So that barrier of entry, think of it, someone coming in only willing to invest about $150. So I call it the double jump.
Mm-hmm.
You have to hurdle personal training to do the transformation. That's very possible. Here's the cool thing, because I ran a personal training studio and I mastered this. 79%, 79 out of 100 people that would talk to me about investing in personal training will buy a $2,000 to $3,000 to $7,000 program.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. You are at a huge, huge advantage if you're a personal trainer out there. If you're from Lifetime, I mean, my God, could you imagine? We're talking 70, let's just say 60. 6 out of 10 people that reach out to you that are like, hey, I think I'm looking for a personal trainer, they are willing to invest $2,000 to $8,000. Yeah. And that's a fact.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's God, because you're already selling quote unquote kind of high ticket, like this is just there. Who cares? Here's the thing. No one's ever going to break it down to $111 a session. No. They will never do that. We don't say that. It's not on any price sheet like that. It's so simple the way we do it. You will sell these at a better closing percentage than you currently do your personal training. I guarantee you. You have such a leg up. And when you're talking to people, they have a problem and they're looking for a solution. And it is so easy to sell this as a personal trainer. You guys have such a big leg up compared to the CrossFit gyms that we work with. Ugh. And that's what we named PT Legends after personal training legends. Like, that's what this is, guys. This is exactly how you succeed. And we've spent tens of thousands of dollars from all these different coaches and education and seminars and this and that. None of it worked, and we had to take pieces of everything and create our own Frankenstein baby. And we rolled it out, and it fucking worked. And then we refined it. We work with dozens of other trainers and gym owners. And it's gotten so good right now that it floors me. I can't believe what we're doing right now. So anyways, guys, you're a personal trainer in any stage, whether you're an employee, whether you're an independent contractor, whether you're a studio owner, you have to take the next step. Listen to the podcast, join that group. And if you want that book, just shoot me an email and I'll mail it to you once it gets published. So that's it, guys. I appreciate your time listening, and make sure to tune into some of the other episodes of the PT Legends podcast. Dave and myself, Scott, would love to thank you for tuning in and listening to the PT Legends podcast. You can get direct access to us by joining our free Facebook group. Go to www.facebook.com/groups/7-figure personal trainer. That's 7-figure personal trainer with the number 7. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast so you can keep on learning and keep on living. Finally, if you picked up any tips whatsoever in this episode that you found helpful, be sure to leave us a review and tell us what you like best about it. Can't wait to see you on the next episode.